Back on the field, Broncos 20-0 lead at the half, and we'll be right back after these messages. The Valley of the Sun, Tempe, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. Marv Albert, Bob Trumpy checking out the halftime statistics, which are all Denver Broncos.
Yeah, no question about the 2 first downs. They get 58 total yards, 38 passing, and 25 of it came on the 1 pass completion to Novacek, the tight end. So this game has been totally dominated by the Denver Broncos, even with the 2 turnovers.
Denver with a 20-0 lead. A victory would clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. Al Del Greco getting set to kick off for the Cardinals. Certainly a strong candidate for AFC Coach of the Year honors. Dan Reeves.
I don't know if there's even a close second.
Well, Marty Schottenheimer
is
Don
a candidate.
Shula. Wait a second, Bob. A lot of candidates out there.
Not like what this guy did. Not what he did.
I don't know. I think it's a tough race to call. Second half underway. And Ken Bell on the kickoff return. And a penalty marker down as Bell gets out to the 19-yard line. Ron Wolfley made the stop on Bell. There's Dale Hamer, the referee. And against the Broncos.
Illegal block. Number 55 on the return. Penalized half the distance for first down.
And that is Rick Dennison called for that illegal block. Well, the Cardinals, in 9 possessions during the first half, forced to punt 7 times.
2 first downs. Very, very inept. Not totally Tim Rosenbaugh's problem, but this offense has not generated a lot of things throughout the season. Very evident today, too.
Denver first down from the 10. Back to the ground for Humphrey, who had a spectacular first half. Carl Carter, the right corner, made the stop. Humphrey now 17 carries, 99 yards. Denver Broncos doing it on a fumble recovery by Karl Mecklenburg. Took it in from 23 yards away. Touchdown pass from Elway to Sewell, and a couple of field goals by Treadwell.
7 offensive possessions there in the first half. Any coach would like to have 7 offensive possessions. You'll score on a few.
Yes, first down at the 20. And Bratton picks up short yardage. Eric Hill, the middle linebacker, made the stop. The Broncos have Keith Karts at center, Jim Juriga, Doug Weidel at the guards, Ken Lanier and Gerald Perry are at the tackles.
That's one of the reasons why I like Dan Reeves as the Coach of the Year. The guys you just named, really only Ken Lanier last year had any extensive playing time as a starter. Reeves said, we're going with bigger guys, we're going with younger guys, and we're leaving them in there.
Denver 2nd and 7 at the 23. Humphrey. And he's hammered across the 25 by Harvey. Well, the linebackers have played well. The tandem of Anthony Bell, Eric Hill, Ken Harvey. Harvey with that hard hit on Humphrey.
All relatively young, too. Going to be here for a lot of years. Guys you can certainly build your defense around. They're all 3 big enough that you can make one of them a pass rusher the way Lawrence Taylor is used. One of the strengths of this team, this Phoenix Cardinal team.
3rd down 4 at the 26. Humphrey 102 yards for the day. His 5th 100-yard rushing game. And this is rookie season. Elway with lots of time. Oh, beautiful catch. Catch by Michael Young, a one-handed grab. And he went for 29 on the reception.
Great job, too, by Elway reading that pattern. Now, one of the cardinal sins of a receiver is don't break on top of a defensive back. But he does. And Elway puts the perfect touch on it. Watch that right hand. Bring it back. Tuck it in. Outstanding. There's a highlight. That'll be shown a few times.
First catch of the day, 20th of the season for the 5-year man out of UCLA. a Plan B free agent from the LA Rams, Michael Young. And Vance Johnson with his 7th reception. Bumped out by the left corner, Cedric Mack. So the Broncos on the move once again with 3 minutes gone by in this third quarter.
Broncos, even though they're leading 20-0, still staying with their basic game plan. Have not gone to just giving it to Bobby Humphrey on every play. And they're a quiet, sedate crowd here in Sun Devil Stadium.
Quiet and sedate. How about 2nd down and 4?
I meant to say quiet and sedated.
Oh, sedated.
Yes.
Bob now getting personal with the fans. And a large gathering from Denver, and even they have been on the quiet side. The Broncos jumping to that 20-0 lead. Cardinals players were talking before the game that they were actually looking for more support from the Denver Broncos, but they said they wouldn't mind that at all as long as the crowd shows up. That has not been the case this season. 3rd down and 3, and a nice catch made by Steve Sewell close to the marker. Lonnie Young, the free safety, up to make the stop.
Real versatile kid. Can be a running back for you. Can also be a wide receiver for you. You see some of the Bronco fans. This is a big vacation spot for those people who live in Colorado. To get away from the feet of snow, they come down here to the Arizona desert. Bronco Mania storms Phoenix. There's a lot of orange shirts. You're right.
First down at the 33-yard line. Elway looking for Young, who came back, had a nice hook pattern, but incomplete.
Couldn't get that second foot down.
Elway now 16 for 25, 195 yards.
Good pass protection up front. Elway pumps once and then zips it out there. Watch that second foot. First one in, second one. Ooh, it looks like he drug it a little bit. Wait a minute. They may take another look at that. I'm not so sure that they're going to call that so quickly. No, they're not going to review it. That looked like a nice catch.
Well, this is the 9th play of the drive. It's a 2nd down and 10 at the 33. Now Young, 83, in motion. Elway off the roll. There's a nice throw by Elway. Did well to get it off. Michael Young.
Boy, look at Elway. He's already back, all the way back by the Phoenix bench. Looked like Hill gave him a little shove out of bounds. Is it Hill? It's not the man running behind him. It's Freddie Joe Nunn, 78, who gives him a bump out of bounds. And Young makes the nice catch inbounds right at the first down marker for the first down.
And the ball spotted at the 22-yard line. Mel Bratton with a penalty marker down. Freddie Joe Nunn on the stop.
Holding offense. I'm going to pray here it's not Gerald Perry. Anybody else in the offensive line, not Gerald Perry.
Holding number 67 in the offense. 10-yard penalty.
All right, 67 is Doug Wydell, the rookie from Boston College.
He is the right guard. He's working on the defensive tackle head. Hard to tell in there with all those big bodies exactly where the holding comes from, but the umpire throws the flag. That's one of the things that's hurt Denver throughout the season, the holding calls in big games and important drives.
First down and 20 at the 32. Acceleration by Humphrey, broke the tackle. Getting inside the 20. Cedric Mack on the stop on the beautiful run by Bobby Humphrey.
He breaks the tackle of an excellent tackler, too. Lonnie Young is the free safety for the Phoenix Cardinals, and watch this. Boom, takes him on, stops dead, spins. Lonnie Young is a very, very good tackler. Finally, Galloway slows him down a little bit. Cedric Mack, 47, along with Ken Harvey, 56, get him on the ground. But that is a nice 15-yard pickup, and now 117 yards for Humphrey. And he's got a ways to go, too. He's going to get a lot more before this game is over.
2nd down and 5 at the 17. A delay, and he's going to throw off the option. Touchdown! Humphrey to Bratton on the option pass.
17 yards
for a 17-yard score.
He's thrown it once before. That's the first time he's completed it.
So 2 rookies hooking up. Bobby Humphrey out of Alabama. Mel Bratton, who was a gamble as a 7th-round draft pick. The Broncos gambling that he'd make it back from a severe knee injury.
Tim McDonald, 46, is the man in coverage. It almost looks like Mel Bratton used his hand to give him some distance against Tim McDonald, but it goes as a score. Nice play. Put it in the films.
Treadwell puts it through. So Denver with 8:46 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading Phoenix 27-0. Bobby Humphrey, who moments ago threw his first touchdown pass in the NFL on the option, connecting with Mel Bratton. Treadwell bouncing one to Sikahema. Looks to put some speed on, gets out across the 30-yard line.
Back to the touchdown. When you've got a running back who runs for 117 yards on the day, then you got the fullback that comes up through here. Tim McDonald is the man that drops coverage. Humphrey goes out here. It's not that pretty, but he does throw it very well. And watch Bratton at the end of the play. Watch his right arm. It kind of pushes McDonald off a little bit to make the catch. They don't catch him. It counts.
11 plays, 90 yards. A drive that went over 6 minutes. And Denver with a 27-0 lead. Hogaboom, who came on for the rookie Rosenbaugh, able to complete to Roy Green. Aaron Carrington on the stop, and a 1st down for the Cardinals. Aaron Carrington, a year ago, worked as a food server at the Cardinals training camp on the campus of Northern Arizona University, a rookie out of Northern Arizona. He said they didn't treat him too badly, although they asked him to sing, and he refused. All right, here is Hogaboom completing to Jordan. Karl Mecklenburg on the tackle.
It's not at the point almost where Phoenix is trying to save some self-respect here, some pride. They allow the Denver Broncos to go right down the field for 90 yards and score. First time they have the ball in the 3rd quarter. Got to go with the dump-off stuff. Mecklenburg with the tackle. You can't leave as bad a taste as this in the mouth of your fans about your offense. They're sitting there wondering what's going to happen next.
2nd down and 3 from midfield. Farrell, the man in motion. This is Jordan. And he stopped short of a 1st down by Mark Munford. Tony Jordan, a 2nd-year player out of Kansas State, getting the starting assignment today. The Cardinal running game has been invisible. Jordan, a guy's size and speed, but does not appear to have the quick cutting ability. And of course, the play of the Cardinal offensive line has not helped. Many injuries, a host of shuffling. Right now they go with Sharp, Sandusky, Kennard, Smith, and Wolf. Tootie Robbins, the latest injury. Right tackle sideline today. 3rd down and 2 at the 49. Hogaboom in trouble. Gets it away. Incomplete through the hands. A little too high for Roy Green.
Again, good pressure by the Denver defense. Mecklenburg coming from one side. Cragen, Holmes, all there right in Hogaboom's face. Got him to flush out of the pocket. There's Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator. This defense came in as the best scoring defense in the NFL. And pressure up front is a big factor. You see Mecklenburg, Cragen, 71. They're all around Hogaboom. He had no time to really sit down and look for a quarterback, for an open receiver.
Well, Rich Camarillo will punt for the 8th time. And Bob, for those of you who were wondering, the NFL record most punts. Oh, no, he will not punt. He's going to throw. He completes. Penalty marker is down. Ron Wolfley on the reception. It is short of the first down, but a flag is thrown. So Camarillo throwing on the fake punt. The penalty is against the Cardinals.
Illegal man downfield. Nice idea, but it didn't come close to working.
Mr. Stats, our crack statistician Elliot Cow providing us with this information.
An eligible receiver downfield, number 53, hit the offense. Penalties declined. First down.
The most punts in an NFL game, 15. John Telchik of the Eagles against the Giants in an overtime affair back in 1967.
He may have a blister on his foot, so they throw. From all the punts.
Oh, that is just awful.
Just a theory. Just a theory.
We'll be right back. Before we mercifully went to commercial, Bob going to the B material regarding punter Rich Camarillo. It is a first out at midfield as Denver takes over. Humphrey trying to stiff arm his way. 6:19 remaining in the third quarter. Marv Albert with Bob Crumpy from Tempe, Arizona. Sun Devil Stadium with the Denver Broncos leading the Phoenix Cardinals by the score of 27-0.
Marv, I think at this point Dan Reeves' major concern, along with the rest of the Denver Broncos, is making sure that someone does not get hurt and get hurt to the point where it cost them a few weeks in the playoffs. That's Joe Wolf, the offensive tackle. Excuse me, Jim Waller, who the defensive tackle who was hurt, limping off there with a bad knee. The Cardinals have used 9 different defensive lines in 14 weeks of play this year, but both these teams now must be very concerned about the injuries that might take place for the rest of the game.
Jim Waller, a man who has had knee problems in the past. He has made his return from a knee injury, a start of the past 5 games. 4th round draft pick out of UCLA, so he heads to the sideline. Broncos 2nd down 7 at the 47. Now Vance Johnson splits to the left. Mark Jackson to the right. Elway for Humphrey.
Well, this kid's a player, Marv. I'm telling you, this kid is a real player. I think it's interesting that in the NFL this year is clearly the best offensive player in the NFC is Barry Sanders of the Detroit Lions, and here Humphrey for the Denver Broncos. Nice pull by Doug Weidel, but well, Humphrey can do so many things. He gets yards when they're not there. An excellent pass receiver. He can throw for touchdowns. What a pick.
3rd down and 1 at the 41. Humphrey was a question mark coming off that broken foot injury. Here's Humphrey picking up the first down. Waddy Young, the free safety, made the stop.
Excuse me. He was hurt early with the busted ribs, but I think he has made a point to the people in Denver that I'm not injury prone, and that was his label coming out of the University of Alabama.
Talking about it with Dan Reeves last night, he said he was so impressed the way Humphrey readjusted his running style after he hurt his ribs.
Yeah. He's got that forward body lean. And of course, this is something that since Otis Armstrong, the Broncos really haven't had a guy to give the ball to a great deal.
And Humphrey has been getting the ball a great deal and handling it very well, getting inside the 35-yard line. Gary Hadd and Eric Hill combined to make the tackle.
At some point, you've got to say, look, we've got this game firmly in hand. We don't want anybody injured. Let's get him out of there. And it's tough because Dan Reeves said last night, you know, you want to keep your edge on the team. We've lost 2 straight. And here today he has a career high in yards. Congratulations to Bobby Humphrey. And he also goes over the 1,000-yard mark in the first half.
A couple of weeks ago against the Raiders, 125 yards. So he has surpassed that. Sammy Winder, who just checked in, stopped by David Galloway. But on the subject of outstanding rookies around the AFC, Bobby Humphrey certainly will be vying along with Eric Metcalf, another triple threat man for the Cleveland Browns. Defensively, Steve Atwater, Eric Thomas, Louis Oliver, Carnell Lake have been outstanding.
Those defensive choices, that's a tough choice. Thomas is excellent, so is Oliver. Lake, I think, is a guy that a lot of people don't know about. He was a linebacker in college, but I think clearly Humphrey's the choice offensively in the AFC.
3rd down, 6 at the 35. A lot of movement, and we see the flags being thrown as Elway fires a bullet. Oh, nice catch made by Mark Jackson, covered by Jay Taylor. But let's see what these penalties are about.
I think that's going to be on the defense. Elway going with the hard count here.
Offside. Number 78 of the defense. The penalties declined. 1st down.
That's Freddie Joe Nunn. Elway said he'd start the game in the first quarter, first half. He gets him in a rhythm, calls everything on 1. And late in the game when he needs something, he'll extend the snap count to 2 or 3. And you got defensive linemen back there with the running backs. It worked that time, but he also gets the completion for the 1st down.
And he said he thinks the Cardinals would be vulnerable to jumping the gun. He's been so effective at that. Here's Elway on the roll, and he completes. Clarence Kay for a touchdown. So Clarence Kay playing a major role today. Following the expression of unhappiness, Clarence Kay with his 3rd catch of the afternoon. And Kay with a 2nd touchdown of the season. So Denver now with a 33-0 pounding over the Phoenix Cardinals. Clarence Kay, one of the NFL's best blocking tight ends. But the last 2 weeks, 3 catches apiece.
Here's Clarence Kay right here. He fakes the down block, and as Elway rolls out, he really has another primary receiver, but I think he eventually goes to Kay. Watch him. See, he's faking there, everybody's clearing out. And Elway finally finds him, and then the turn back in gets underneath the tacklers. Clarence Kay at about 255 runs over people for the score. 2nd touchdown reception of the season.
After further review, the play stands. Touchdown.
I think they were looking at whether or not his knee was down before he got to the goal line, but they're going to give him the score.
And Clarence Kay very happy about the day he has had in his 5th season out of the University of Georgia. Here is Treadwell putting through the uprights. They get 34-0 Denver. 3:40 to go in the 3rd. We'll be right back. Has reached the wipeout stage. 34-0 Broncos over the Cardinals. Do you pull John Elway, who has problems with the ribs? Why leave him in at this point?
Yeah, I think you almost have to, and I think in the last series you saw Bobby Humphrey leave the game and Sammy Winder come in. Yeah, you do have to protect these guys now for the playoffs.
And the kickoff return by Tony Baker. Elway, incidentally, 20 for 29, 247 yards. And look at the total yard number, 394 to 77. Elway's thrown for 2 touchdowns, intercepted twice. There is the backup quarterback who's done a nice job over the years. Gary Kubiak, solid backup, and apparently that point we brought up is on the mind of Dan Reeves, because we'll probably see Kubiak the next series.
He won an important game for this team when Elway was sick in Washington. Elway had food poisoning. He did a great job. This kid's a very valuable player.
Sikahema on the screen. And that is contained Rick Dennison, the inside linebacker, making the stop. Gary Kubiak has played an important role over his 7-year career. He's started 5 times. The one start you mentioned, subbing for Elway in that victory over the Washington Redskins. Hogaboom, incomplete, intended for Roy Green.
Looks like the Cardinals are going to try to attempt some hurry-up offense here. They went right back to the line of scrimmage there.
And now they are looking at a 3rd down and 6. The interim head coach for the Cardinals, Hank Coolman, who is looking at an 0-4 slate with the finale next week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Coolman taking over for Gene Stallings. Three minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Penalty marker is tossed, intended for Roy Green, incomplete.
Well, when you get in the habit of losing, Everybody looks bad, don't they? Roy Green, one of the game's great receivers, as we hear the call.
Offside. Number 73 of the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
That's Simon Fletcher. Jetstream Green, over the last 6 years, has averaged 59 catches and 970 yards, along with 8 touchdowns. And when you lose, you just feel old. You run old. Everything hurts more. It hurts longer. These guys cannot wait for this season to end so they can get a fresh start.
And Roy has made it back from a fractured collarbone. Third down play. And it is the tight end Robert Ewald on the reception. So a rare first down for the Phoenix Cardinals.
Yeah. The fans respond. They like a first down. There hasn't been a lot in Sun Devil Stadium that these fans have liked, including the price of the tickets, the temperature on that side of the stadium. Sometimes it gets up to 130 degrees over there watching a game early in the season. So,
well, there's a positive point, Bob. Oh, penalty marker down, a hard hit on Darrell Usher from Kip Carrington, and another flag is thrown.
Holding defense, that may be Darren Carrington, who is the man underneath.
Holding. Number 29 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kip Carrington was the man back there in coverage, but Darren Carrington, 29, up front, was the guy who got his hand on the receiver and held him up.
First and 10. First and 10.
Yeah, there's Carrington, the 5th-round pick from the University of Northern Arizona. So a first down at the 49-yard line. And Hogeboom has a deflected. Penalty marker is back behind the line of scrimmage. The pass intended for Darrell Usher. Tyrone Braxton, number 34.
Holding offense. I'm going to ask Mr. Stats here, Elliot Kalb. I don't remember if the Phoenix Cardinals have in fact been across the 50-yard line more than once today. I think Novacek's catch.
Holding. Number 45 in the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
And on Mike's statistical request by Bob.
He'll get it.
Putting the pressure on Mr. Stats.
He'll get it.
Well, unbelievable.
I think Novacek had one catch across the 50, and I don't remember them going across the 50-yard line again. Watch the penalty once again. It's the running back holding on to Michael Brooks, the linebacker.
Elliott said give him 20, 25 minutes. He'll have it for you.
No. He's got it. He's got it.
Off the 1st and 20, Green on the reception.
And they are across the 50. Elliott got it. That's the first time they've been across the 50-yard line today, the Phoenix Cardinals. Nice, huh?
Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you, Elliott.
All right, tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time. Join us for NFL Live. Bob Costas bringing you up to date on the late-breaking news from around the league. And OJ will visit with 49ers owner Eddie DeBartolo Jr., who many consider the finest owner in the game today. As we come up on 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter, Denver 34 and Phoenix nothing. It is a third down and 4 as the Cardinals go into the hurry-up. Hogeboom couldn't find anyone. And now goes incomplete, intended for Sikahema.
Well, there's certainly been nothing for anybody on the team, in the city, in the stands, if you're a Phoenix Cardinal fan, to cheer about today. Very, very little on the positive side for the Phoenix Cardinals.
This is a game that saw the rookie from Washington State, Tim Rosenball, get the starting nod. He was lifted early in the second quarter. He was 2 for 8 at 14 yards, and Gary Hogeboom came on. There's Rosenball. It's a 4th down and 3, and Hogeboom going for it, has it with Sikahema. So he has the first down. Second have a stop by the free safety, Steve Atwater. That's a 14-yard pickup.
Well, so far, their deepest penetration against the Denver Broncos. And again, the Cardinals go right back to the line of scrimmage for offense. No huddle.
First down at the 31. Ogeboom got the time, but threw it off the mark, intended for Jay Novacek. It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 31. Cardinals averaging only 41,000 in attendance. This the biggest crowd of the season, although we have not received the official total. And foremost on the minds of the Phoenix Cardinals, the hunt for the new head coach. And General Manager Larry Wilson says he wants that in place by January. Among the leading candidates, you've been reading about Steve Spurrier, who has been offered the job by the University of Florida. Ogeboom almost picked off. Lyman Henderson had a crack at it. The pass intended for Roy Green. Spurrier has told the Cardinals that he will discuss the situation with them before reaching a decision. He may come to Phoenix within the next few days. He's been here. He's already discussed it with Larry Wilson. And Duke University has also offered a renegotiated contract. Atlanta also reportedly interested in Spurrier, and he says he'll decide after Duke plays Texas Tech in the All-American Bowl at the end of December. People wondering if Hank Kuhlman, the interim coach, is on the list of General Manager Larry Wilson. It does not seem that that is likely.
Oh,
Ogeboom lost it.
Fletcher took it right out of his hand, Mark. Simon Fletcher took it right out of his hand. Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator, comes in with the defense that led the NFL in scoring, leading 34-0. Nice play. Ogeboom takes that ball back, and when his arm goes forward, there is no football, and Simon Fletcher is on it.
Timeout is taken. We'll be back in a moment.
Watch this play by Simon Fletcher once again on the outside on Joe Wolf. Knocks it right out of Ogeboom's hand. And it's recovered by the Denver Broncos. It's underneath Fletcher. I don't know who got the recovery, but Denver ball.
Third turnover for the Phoenix Cardinals. Jeff Alexander with the carry. Stopped by Gary Had. So Alexander handling it for the first time as Gary Kubiak has come on, replacing John Elway. There's Kubiak in a 7th season out of Texas A&M. He has been an excellent backup, a touch passer, has a quick release, good feel for the Denver offense. And for John Elway, a very fine afternoon. 20 for 29, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, threw for 247 yards. Second down and 6. Sammy Winder. And Reeves has done some shuffling. His Winder and Alexander in there, replacing the starters Humphrey and Bratton.
Have you ever heard anybody compliment a player more than Sammy Winder? And Dan Reeves last night was telling us, as you look at the last 5 possessions by the Denver Broncos, been rather productive. I was impressed with his comment about Sammy Winder. Has not complained about Bobby Humphrey's playing time. Not one bit. I think he realized the talent of the kid. Let him give him the ball.
When we come to the end of the third quarter with the Broncos leading the Cardinals 34-0. It is a 3rd and 1 at the 49. Sammy Winder gets the call. Could have been Steve also.
Yes, it could. Or a family affair.
Jim McDonald making the stop as Winder goes for the first down. Crowd filing out here as we open up in the 4th quarter. It is a season high in attendance, 56,071. As you see, season ticket sales have dipped from 88 to 89.
Yeah, that's at an average ticket price in Sun Devil Stadium of $35 a ticket.
That's a fine seat.
That one is not 35.
First down at midfield. Marv Albert, Bob Trumpy from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Well, the cut made by Winder, Anthony Bell, able to trip him up. Sammy Winder, an 8-year man out of southern Mississippi, He's accounted for over 5,000 yards on the ground, second leading rusher in Bronco history behind Floyd Little. It's a spectacular setting here between the mountains in Tempe, Arizona, just southeast of Phoenix.
You know, you're just talking about the price of the tickets here for Phoenix games. I would be willing to bet that that price is going to be substantially reduced next year, because Phoenix, very difficult to win fans to begin with, almost impossible to win them back, and that's what Phoenix has to do. They're not happy with the team, and they're not happy with how much it costs to come and watch this team. Major changes have to happen for this franchise to really succeed down here.
Vance Johnson on that reception. Well, tomorrow, big day of football on NBC. It starts with Bob and OJ in the studio, along with the Insiders. A double dose of the Insiders this weekend. 12:30 Eastern time as you check out the lineup. 3rd down and 3 at the 42. A minute and a half gone by in this 4th quarter, and the Broncos in front of the Cardinals 34-0. Kubiak again going to Johnson. Hit down by Cedric Mack.
He caught it, but he is very, very close.
9 catches, 51 yards for Johnson. One of the spirit of this holiday season. We asked Denver head coach Dan Reeves what he would like for Christmas, and here's Dan's Christmas wish list.
Number 3, of course, was without asking his wife.
Yeah, in what order, I wonder, are these requests being made?
Well, he's got the home field playoff advantage and a 5-game win streak as a Super Bowl championship. And then we'll have to talk to his wife about the 1 month on the deserted island.
It is a 1st down at the Phoenix 39. And Winder again getting the call. Harvey and Hill combined on the stop. We also asked the same question of interim head coach Hank Kuhlman, and he came up with only one Christmas wish, a modest one, but it appears that his last chance will be next Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, that's Christmas.
Yes.
So that's his last chance, is a touchdown Tupa. Everybody has their own individual list here.
Tom Tupa, the second-year man from Ohio State, a backup quarterback for the Phoenix Cardinals. 2nd down and 8. And the completion to Steve Sewell, who was met by Michael Zordich.
Now, Marv, I find it remarkable that this is the 15th game of the season today, and 2 teams played today, or there were 2 games today, and there are only 3 teams guaranteed a position in the playoffs. San Francisco, Denver, and the Giants won that opportunity this afternoon in Giant Stadium. 3 teams out of 28, and only 3 are a cinch for the playoffs.
With the Giants defeating Dallas earlier today, they clinched at least the wild card in the playoffs. 3rd down and 4, and now the Broncos pick up the 1st down on the completion to Mark Jackson, hit by Cedric Mack and Michael Zordich. So Denver continuing the drive with 11 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, and the Broncos now have a 1st down at the 23. They lead by the score of 34-0. 2 field goals for Treadwell from 38, 33. 2 touchdown passes thrown by Elway. A touchdown on the halfback option thrown by Humphrey. And Mecklenburg on a recovery of a fumble and ran it in for 23 yards for the 34 points. Broncos 1st down at the 23. Here's Winder. And a short pickup for Sammy Winder. Well, a moment ago we were talking about the playoff picture with a lot of teams alive as we are in the next to last weekend of the regular season. These are clubs that control their own destiny. 10 AFC clubs are still alive for the wild card. The Giants clinching the wild card today. They could win the NFC East with another victory and a Philadelphia loss. We'll get back to that in a moment. 2nd down and 7 at the 20. Going to the outside is Alexander. And he's hit down by Freddie Joe Nunn. Now, these are clubs that need help. They cannot do it by themselves, and this is where it gets very complicated.
Yeah, I have no idea all of the various ways that this can be worked out, but tomorrow a lot of it will be settled. But still, 3 of 28 are in the playoffs. That we know for sure. Only 8 are out.
San Francisco, Denver, and the Giants are in. Third down 4 at the 17. And off the draw, Winder was stopped. Harvey and Had combining on the tackle.
Now for the Broncos, this game started out very, very slowly. They had 3 downs and out twice, and then the big play that kind of started the turnaround for Denver was really courtesy of Tim Rosenbaugh and the center, Derek Kennard, for the Phoenix Cardinals. A missed snap, and Mecklenburg runs it in, and all of a sudden 34 unanswered points.
And Treadwell will attempt from 35 yards away. Now it's a 4th down and 5 from the 18. He's connected earlier from 33, from 38, but first a timeout has been taken. So the Broncos call for time with 8:23 left in the 4th quarter. And for the rookie out of Alabama, Bobby Humphrey, who had a spectacular day here at Sun Devil Stadium, 128 yards on the ground. He threw a touchdown pass, instrumental in this big lead by the Denver Broncos. David Treadwell looking to add to it. 35-yard attempt. And make it 3 for 3 for Treadwell. So the Broncos extend the lead. It is 37-0. Denver over Phoenix. The kickoff by David Treadwell. A short kick played by Darrell Usher. Gets out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos with a 37-0 lead on the Cardinals. So the Cardinals back to the offense tonight right here on NBC. First down at the 26. Hogaboom completing across the 30 to the tight end Robert Awalt, who was hit by Mark Mumford.
Phoenix again going right to the line of scrimmage with 7:50 and counting to go in the game. Try to do something they haven't done all day, and that's get it close to the goal line.
And again, it's Awalt on the reception for the first down, and Mumford on the stop. Mark Mumford, a 3-year man out of Nebraska.
And finally, Phoenix goes back into the huddle.
Clock running down, 7:20 remaining in this 4th quarter. All Denver, 37-0 over the Cardinals.
Fletcher on the sack.
Yes, and that is his 11th sack of the season. We mentioned tonight on NBC on the Bob Hope special, the 1989 AP All-America team will be introduced. Here are some of the fellows you see from the defensive point of view. 2nd down and 16, and it gets worse and worse for Gary Hogaboom.
That time
and the Cardinals. The nose tackle, Greg Cragen, with his 2nd sack of the season.
4 sacks on the day. Here's more of the defensive players you'll see tonight.
It's on the Bob Hope Christmas special tonight on NBC. It is a 3rd down and 20 at the 27. Phoenix Cardinals on their way to their 5th consecutive loss and a record of 5-10. Look at 3 consecutive sacks. What a series for the Broncos. This time Tim Lucas, and that is his 2nd sack of the season.
And he ran right over by Sikahema. I mean, right over by Sikahema.
Make it 5 sacks on the day for the Broncos.
Again, Wade Phillips Got to like it from the right. Watch. Boom. He absolutely runs over Sikahema.
And here is Rich Camarillo for his 8th punt of the day. So it's his first in the second half. And the fair catch called for by Vance Johnson. A 33-yard punt. Denver certainly enjoying themselves. They get it back with just under 6 minutes left in the game. The rookie quarterback Tim Rosenbaugh warming up on the sideline, and apparently he will be reinserted. Start of the game, 2 for 8, only 14 yards, then pulled in favor of Gary Hogaboom.
This is almost cruel. They tell him yesterday morning he's going to start. He's all pumped up. He goes in. He's 2 for 8 for 14 yards. And Tom Tupa, his dance card was not filled today. He's a wallflower.
First by Sammy Winder for a Denver first down. Gary had Michael Zordich on the stop. So Denver with a 37-0 lead, and they continue to drive. And there is the phantom of the Broncos. That's a very confused young man, Bob. Well, he's seen his Denver Broncos turn it around from the disappointing 8-8 season last year. That road record should also reflect 0-3 in Super Bowl competition on neutral grounds. Jeff Alexander stopped by Ken Harvey, but the Denver Broncos, with the victory here today, will clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs, which is so significant.
Oh, yeah, especially for a place like Mile High Stadium. A tremendous home field crowd. That place just rocks when Denver begins to get things going. And then your opponent always has to face the possibility of bad weather. Lots of snow. You don't know what's going to happen up there in Denver in January. So as long as Denver keeps winning in the playoffs, their next road game may be New Orleans.
Well, although the Giants handled that snow last week in the 14-7 victory over the Broncos. Sammy Winder stopped by Gary Head. Broncos coming into today had lost 2 straight. Lost to the Raiders, lost to the Giants. But you can certainly go with the theory that the game was so important for the Raiders and the Giants. As for Denver, they certainly don't want to relax, but they could in that situation.
Yeah, Wade Phillips, so you're looking at Dan Reeves, but Wade Phillips said last night his dad was in Denver to watch the game last week. And he kept telling him before the game, he said, you know, son, you only need to win one of these last 3 for the home field advantage. And Wade said, yeah, I know, Dad. And but Wade said, but Bum said, wait a minute, you know how difficult it is to win that one? Well, they got it done today, and they got it done in grand fashion.
It is a 3rd down and 6 at the 36. Winder on a sweep.
Wydell in front of him.
And he has the first down. Cedric Mack forced him out of bounds, so Sammy Winder running well.
The Denver Broncos have absolutely controlled the line of scrimmage. Their idea, obviously, run to the outside of this defense. And Wydell has pulled a great deal. You see the blocks down. Excellent lead block by Alexander 40. And that really gets the linebacker down on the ground. And then actually Winder picks up 11 yards and doesn't even use Wydell's block.
Sammy Winder, 35 yards, 10 carries. Coming on for Bobby Humphrey.
As a team, Denver 42 rushes, 187 yards.
And it's Winder again able to make the turn and has another first down. Carl Wilson cut him off. Last year when the Broncos were 8-8, they just could not establish the running game. Tony Dorsett was the key man in that situation. But this season with the rookie Bobby Humphrey, with the play selection changed somewhat. Here's Denver on its way to a record of 11 up and 4 down, and you can see the rushing stats here today.
Yeah, that's another reason why I choose Dan Reeves as the coach of the year. Changed almost the entire philosophy of the team. Run, stop the run. Inserted 4 new guys on the offensive line. Changed defensive staff and emphasis. And they're 11 and 4.
2nd down and 1. Alexander not able to pick up the first down. Reeves reflecting on last year, discussing it with us last night. In fact, they won 8-8. He said, I don't think we were a bad team, but said we didn't really play hard all the time. He said the telling point last year, the Broncos were blown out 4 times. This season, he loves the consistency of this ball club and likes the fact that they do play hard every game.
Well, I think one of the things that Denver was last year was a finesse team. With Elway throwing it, I think this year this is a very, very strong bang him at the line of scrimmage football team, and that gives you a chance to play more consistent football.
Well, 2 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Denver 37. Well, the most valuable player in today's game, sponsored by Budweiser, no question about it, Bobby Humphrey of the Denver Broncos. And Budweiser makes a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in this weekend's games. Bobby Humphrey with a terrific all-around game. 3rd down and 1.
Oh, boy, it's going their way. Kubiak fumbles, picks it up. There's nobody there, falls ahead for a 1st down.
So Gary Kubiak has picked it up with 1:50 to go in this 4th quarter. Tonight, a night of comedies. And that tells the story. That's Lewis Sharp, a veteran member of the Cardinals. Outstanding left tackle, sitting with Joe Wolf. It's been a long day and a long season for the likes of Sharp and Wolf and the Cardinals.
Talk about a long season. How about the coaching staff of the Cardinals?
Tomorrow's lineup, starting with NFL Live, 12:30 Eastern Time with Bob and OJ, and perhaps the playoff picture will clear up a little bit. Certain things will be determined. Buffalo and San Francisco, the Jets and the Rams in the late games. From our New York studios as we come down to 35 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is Ted Nathanson. Today's game produced by Glenn Adamo as things are wrapping up. Directed by Andy Rosenberg. NFL Live produced by David Neal. NFL Live directed by Bucky Gunts. NFL Live news producer Ricky Diamond. Our technical directors Mike Stremiski and Richard Sansevier. Thanks to our statistician, Mr. Stats, Elliott Cow, Dan Reeves, and the Broncos in a wipeout, a 37-0 blanking of the Phoenix Cardinals. We'll be back in just a moment.